But right now, we're here to talk about Skeleton Crew, Star Wars Skeleton Crew Episode 4 that dropped yesterday.
Yeah.
And man, what can I say, man? Just continue to be great. Hey, continue to be great. And for me, like, again, we're just going along with these kids along their adventure, and we're getting to know them more and more. And even personally now, like, I think now we can find, because we've gone halfway now. So this is episode 4, 4 more episodes to go. We're halfway. We can actually know we know these characters now. We've actually, especially the kids, because we got 4 episodes with them. We actually know their personalities. And a question I posed to you guys last episode, what you guys thought how the kids have evolved. Like I think we can add on to their evolution with this episode, and we'll talk about that when we get to the spoilers. But I'll start with you, Kelvin. What was your first thoughts about this episode?
Mate, when the credits came up, I was like, "Hey, is that it?" I was pretty excited. I was pretty angry, man. I was like, "Hey!" But now, yeah, man, like you, man. Yeah, I'll probably touch on more when we talk about it. But that was my initial reactions. Oh man, I was eager. I was eager when the credits came up, man. It was just like, I was like. I was funny. My missus right now, she's watching Shorter and Stupid, and I'm just like, "What? Was that it?" You see me like this, thinking me like this. I was like, "Man, I'm sure this episode was only like 20 minutes. Like that. I got shortchanged, man."
You know what I do? It's a bad habit. I find it a bad habit. What I do, I check see how much more is left. You know, when you press the button on the remote and the bar come out, and you see.
And I'm like, "Oh, it's got to be an ending credit on this thing." Fast forward is just all credit.
Yeah.
You have to add exactly. Like 10 minutes. You have to add 10 minutes to the end because there's how much credits
there was quite a bit of chunk left there when the credits came up. I was like, "Actually."
It was like 10 minutes of credits.
Marvel end credit scene, eh?
Yeah. No, that's my fault, man. What were you hearing?
Yeah, no, man. My one was, wow, Neil's the man in this episode.
Yeah.
He's the man. Wow. I think he had most of the... it was mostly about him and how he's growing. So, yeah, no, I thought that, and also thought it's good they're pushing the story along. So now we can kind of gauge, okay, so they're far into this. They've got to get home, but we can see that it's gonna. I think there'll be some more trips in the last probably 2 or 3 more episodes before we get to the end. Oh, sad story about Sim. I don't know if he's going to be coming back. We'll talk about it more in the episode. But yeah, no, it's a good episode. Buzzy too. Yeah, and like you said, Kelvin, it felt like it didn't last that long. I was like, oh, stink. Even my daughter, she was like, "Oh, what are you watching?" Then she started watching the episode with me, so I think she's going to backtrack and watch the other 3 and catch up to where I'm at. So yeah, no, good viewing.
Yeah, I think for me, like what I've learned through like watching, especially episode 1 and 2, like I've gone back and watched some of episode 1 and 2 just to see if I missed anything. And and one thing that I've noticed that what I'm looking for is looking at what the kids are doing. Like all the time, because there's funny stuff happening with what they say when they say secondary lines, like they, like especially Neil, he says stuff during conversations in the background, like what a little kid will say, and it's real cool, man. It's real, it's cute and it's funny, and for me, it's crack up because I'm thinking, man, that's exactly what a little kid would say.
Yeah,
and there's heaps of those moments throughout the episodes, you know. And I'm going back and I'm looking. This is one of the episodes when I think it was last episode when they escape the Kim's library.
Yeah,
and they're going back to their ship because the X-wing on their way. I think the ship's in the crater and they run over the crater and come down into the crater to go into the ship. And Neil's the last one, and he actually trips and falls, and he's rolling down the hill. And then this is crack up because you see him in the background. He falls and he's rolling, and then Crimson, what's his name? What's Jude Law's character?
Yeah,
Jack. Crimson Jack. He turns back and helps. He helps Neil up, and then he brings him down again. Oh, that was crack up. Things like that.
Yeah,
you know, just what he says, and sometimes what Wim says too. Like they'll react with a word when things happening. You don't really notice it at first, but if you listen, they're saying like some funny stuff, and it's exactly if kids were there, not knowing anything, that's what they will say too.
Like the zero filter kids commenting.
Yeah, the zero filter kids.
Yeah.
Man, that's just so funny, man.
Funny
Like the gullible too, eh? And
Yeah.
gullible, yeah.
Yeah, funny you mentioned that part where he falls over, because I rewinded, I watched it, and then I noticed that, and then I'm thinking, I wonder if it was like a blooper, and like they kind of covered it up, because you remember he's wearing the suit, but they kind of whipped in the scene, because you know how Neil's that character, the
and
the show one.
That suit is so good.
Yeah,
Like, that's awesome. Everything, the CGI. Special effects, man.
Yeah, it's funny because I did go back to the last episode, and rewatched it before I watched because I watched it again today after work. So I watched episode 3 and episode 4, and I noticed. It's funny. I want to ask you this question, Eric, but this is what I noticed. Like, the relationship between Crimson Jack and Kim. Like, he sort of talks about her, before we see her, right?
Yeah.
Like, in your head, like, here's a question: Do you think they were going out? Like, it seems like an old girlfriend, and they broke up, sort of thing. That's why she's like pissed off. That's why she acts, and that's what it feels like.
Yeah, you're probably right, man.
She's like a woman scorned,
Yeah, doesn't trust him. Like she was actually shocked. You got kids. Like, you're looking after kids.
He shot at her though, he?
Yeah, he shot at her.
So it must have been a bad breakup, man. They don't even shoot your ex.
Yeah, that's right, man. Like,
but you're right. He was talking her up, as they were getting. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It was like, hey, before we go in, just on the safe side, she might shoot me.
But see, that's what you say when you go and see your ex, eh?
Yeah.
It's like those kind of vibes, eh? They had those kind of vibes, and I'm like, well, were they banging before? What, man? Like,
oh man,
conversation.
And then when it's a bird, I'm like, oh shit, nah, how did they do that? That's one of those random thoughts. But yeah, man. So episode 4. Okay. We're gonna get into the spoilers now. We're gonna deep dive into it. We're gonna break it down. If you haven't seen the episode yet, press pause on this, go watch it, come back, because we're gonna do some spoilers now. But before we do that, we always do WesWes Network recap. What the hell's going on? Recap. Starting now. Season 1, episode 4. Can't say I remember. No, Atson. Directed by Daniel Kwan. Written by Christopher Ford and John Watts. The crew uses Kim's coordinates to arrive at what they believe to be at Aten. The planet turns out to resemble a war-torn version of it, and later they learn that they're actually on Akron, one of the sister planets. Jod stays on the ship with SM-33 while the kids venture out. They run into soldiers who identify themselves as the Troiks, who have been at war with the Hetans, who have stolen their Eopes. Neil befriends a young girl soldier named Haina, whose father, General Strix, insists that the children be treated like adults. Neil does not take to the violent lifestyle, preferring a more humane approach. The kids are to aid the Troiks in getting their Eopes back, but Jod and SM-33 buy them back from the Hetans. As a reward, they are directed to the Fallen Sanctum, which resembles the Supervisor's Tower at Aten. The crew find that it contains the coordinates to other similar planets, but at Aten's has been scratched out. SM-33 reveals that he has destroyed it, but his memory has been wiped. Fern orders him to remember, and he reveals that Aten is where the former captain hid his treasure. Suddenly, SM-33 attacks the group as part of an order from the previous captain. Jod turns him off, and Neil faints after helping to save his friends. And that was the WesWes. What the hell happened? Recap. All right, boys. Kelvin, what was your favorite scene, man?
Yeah, tough one, but to be probably the interaction between Neil and the girl from the planet. I really liked it because you got to see more of Neil, and you see more of his character and why he is the way he is. Yeah, I like that scene. And
Yeah, that was
and was Suave Lealofa on that scene. So it was like, ha,
Neil,
ha, 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 ha,
like you guys
ha,
were
ha.
saying earlier, man.
Yeah,
because look, this is probably for me, regardless as Neil's episode.
yeah,
Yeah,
Hey,
bro.
we really got into Neil's frame of mind, the innocence of him, and how just the way he is, the kid as a kid, and what he values. There were a lot of clues into that when you see him when you didn't want to shoot the gun when they were training, and he goes with Hana, the soldier girl. He sort of changes. He sort of gives her a perspective she never thought of before. How they were talking about, she was talking about war, and he was like talking about, oh, well, I don't like to fight. And he says these crazy kid stories. Like he told a story. Remember, he told a story about his little brother.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think he jumped on his head and he fell and he sprained his trunk. And he was that was just a cute little story, and just the interaction, like you said, Kelvin, like between Hana and him, like. He's real innocent. He's just being truthful. He's just being, he's saying things what kids say. If you don't have that kind of temperament to be like a nasty or anything like that, like, yeah. So it's good that for me, like, he just sticks to his guns with what he values.
Yeah.
And being in this world where there's a war going on, he doesn't really understand. But all he knows is, man, you shouldn't fight. You should just say sorry and. And then and to Hana, she's looking at it, hey, what this guy's talking about? But then slowly it makes sense to her, eh?
Yeah.
Slowly it makes sense to her. So yeah, I think this is a heavily Neil episode, eh? To get into his head and just give him some more dimension, what his character's like, and his thoughts and all that. Yeah. So how'd you think of that episode part, Eric?
Yeah, I'm the same with Kelvin. Any interaction with Neil and what's her name again?
Hana.
Hana? Yeah, Hana. Any interaction with those two characters, man, those awesome scenes. I probably could mention the part where they discover the pillars and the coordinates to those other planets. That's probably another good scene that I found interesting, only because we get a bit more of the storyline. So you can kind of get a view of where it's going to go in the next scene. But yeah, no, I really enjoyed those scenes with Neil and Hana. They're crack up. And he's straight up the nuts. He doesn't. There's pretty much no filter. Right? He just says what, like you were saying earlier, what kids would say. Because kids have no filters, so they just. But the cool thing about him is he keeps to it. Eh? He doesn't change for anyone. And, I started to like that character well after this episode. There was another thing too.
Yeah, because how I described to you guys before, like the evolution of these characters. Like these are innocent kids, but they're in like the reality world. They're in a dangerous world, and yet maybe they understand, maybe they don't. You know what I mean? Like they really, really don't understand how much danger they're in. They just and you see that in Wim's attitude to everything. You think everything's a game still, and we probably haven't come to the point where he's learned anything yet. But I think with Neil in this episode we have, like, he's met Hana and he's confused into why Hana soldier believes what she believes in.
Yeah.
And he just confused with everything. And he's saying, man, just say sorry and don't fight. What's wrong with that? Like, that's his point of view. You know, and that's bringing out his opinion and bringing out his, like, where he's from. And I think that would give him another perspective on life. Hey, well, what's it like living where Hana is? You know, that's his experience of that kind of stuff. But he gets a little. He likes her. He gets a little. He gets a little flustered.
He got a bit of kiss. He got a little kiss, mate.
I got a kiss.
Yeah, little kiss.
He's probably sticking out low where I stick my trunk. But remember remember the girl. Remember the girl he liked at school? Remember? In the first episode?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yes.
He had a crush on one of the girls at school, eh?
Yeah.
So I think this is his sort of moment of being with a girl, like talking to a girl and that, and like just figuring out for himself that, oh, okay, this is what it's like to be infatuated, eh? Or something like that, you know? Like, kind of thing. So I think when he goes back to school, if ever and he sees that other girl, he'll be like the man, eh?
Yeah,
the man.
He'll be super
was
suave. Because if you notice their interaction when they're on the top of the on the roof, like when they're talking, you actually see him do the
Yeah,
slide.
she
And I was waiting for the arms. Oh,
yeah.
Interesting. You mentioned Cams about the other. There was a little scene with Fern where you saw her vulnerability. That scene where
Yeah.
like she kind of like didn't know what to do, and then you kind of saw Wim step out of his, what do you call it, the adventurous, and he kind of said something, just this, you're the bravest of us all, like kind of gave her like a little pep talk, and then, and then she clicked, and but yeah, I just thought I'd just check that, and there was like that little bit,
Yeah.
She finally realizes, hey,
because she's like
what's at
strong,
stake.
and you saw just a little snippet of weakness and vulnerability from Fern.
Hmm.
Yeah, because I don't think they realize how dangerous things can be until they come to this planet where the adults actually treat the kids, the same as adults. They give them the same kind of range. So, like, whatever an adult does, the kids got to do it too.
Hmm.
And they give them some of their responsibility. And then she finally realizes, like, shit, this might be too much for me. But yeah, one is the Elas guy comes along, like you were saying, gives her a prep talk, and then she kind of
has 5 seconds of wisdom.
Yeah.
And I think that's important because what I'm trying to look for is, because this is a coming of age story, right?
Yeah.
So we got to look at these moments where these kids do come of age, where they accept responsibility, where they are. And even if it's a little moment, even if it's a 1 second, 2 second moment, you're right, Kelvin. That is Wim's moment when he goes and prep talks Fern, because she's upset. So he's kind of like, he may be like immature and thinks everything's fancy and all game and all that, but he needs everybody there, right? He needs them all there. So he's like the glue. Hey, he's like even though he's immature and all that, and he's annoying, he knows he needs them all. So he needs to keep everything together. Like, he's the guy to do that. And I think that he came out of his,
for him to
that's
be
right.
immature, and
That's right. That's right.
Even Fern mentioned that he should have been the leader. So
And
I
he
think
said no.
she recognizes that as well.
Yeah, because he recognized that they wouldn't be here if it wasn't for her. Now, what I wanted to talk about is like, do we now know the traits of these characters now? Do we know what their strengths are and their weaknesses are now? In terms of their personality, when I think of Fern, she's a leader.
Yeah.
She's a leader. If she gets sort of sidetracked or gets upset because she can't think of anything fast enough, Wim comes in and sort of brings her up again. So Wim's that guy now. Yeah, he's like the glue to put everyone in the same boat.
Yeah.
I think now with this episode with Neil, we get to know his, and when I said on the recap, like he's got heart. He's more humane.
Yes.
I'd say in the recap he's a humane sort of figure.
Yeah.
So he's got heart. He's all about love. He's that guy that, he's the good in the group. Hey, he's the good
He's the goodness and humanity. That's his character.
Right.
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right. With KB, she's
That's
sort of
Spock.
like, huh?
That's Spock of the
Spock.
team.
I was gonna she's Spock, because like they were like all this thing, and then she's just like, like she was just normal. Everyone's like, yeah, no, you're bang on.
It's like collecting data.
Yeah, but I think you guys spoke of it when I dropped off last episode. You guys you guys took over the podcast, but you made some good points about KB. She's the I think it was you, Kelvin, that says she's the one of the head on the good head on the shoulders.
Yeah.
She's like
the
facts person, the person that sort of
black and white.
Yeah, black and white. She levels everything,
Yeah, she sees everything too.
Yeah. So I think if all these traits these characters have was in one person, he'll be the best person, And with having an adult there like Crimson Jack, his personality and the type of character he is reminds me of Han Solo in a way.
Yeah,
because he's more like because they call him a scoundrel, and that's what Han Solo was. He was a scoundrel, and Han Solo didn't believe in the Force, and he was all about the guns and just black and white kind of dude. Like he was funny too. Like he would say these funny things. Like when I think when the Hudsons came and confronted Crimson Jack and SM-33,
Yeah.
and they said, "Well, which flag are you?" And
Yeah.
Jude Law goes, "Oh, just shoot me now." Like just
Yes. What the heck? Just shoot me.
yeah, they just shoot me. That's what Han Solo would say. Like sort of thing.
Yeah. I saw one. I saw a bit of character from one too when he was like holding the laser stick thing or whatever you call it. He looked like a bit of a warrior as well. So he might be that as well as the supporting crew. I'm not too sure yet. We'll see further down the track. Yeah, crack on.
Yeah.
But they definitely, Neil was player of the day for this episode. I reckon. Because like I think I mentioned it last time that there's gonna be a moment. It's gonna be a moment where he's gonna like that one single act of bravery, and we saw it when he went and
he threw the rock.
Threw the rock. That was his moment of bravery, and and it actually really mattered, even though it was just a rock. It mattered. It saved the others, and But there was one thing that really stood out, like for me, is that theme around kindness. See, because like during that time on the roof, what's her name, Hina, identified that was his weakness, kindness. See, but then as the went forward, I think she found that it was actually his greatest strength.
Yeah,
and that's why the man got that peck on the cheek. Because it really, because you get, even though she didn't say it, but you can see like the way she acted. Like when she keeps on going, when I get my chance of being the leader, I might think, think like you, Neil, like, got her with some kindness, man. Yeah.
I cracked up at that part too when she takes Neil to show him the gun. And she grabbed him by the trunk.
That's right.
And they're like running along, and I was like, "Oh shit, I didn't see that." And I watched it the second time with my daughter, and we were cracking up laughing. Oh shit!
I remember watching a TED talk a while ago. I forgot who the guy was, but he was a professor, a teacher, and he had this theory on, especially when it comes to kids education, and especially with the younger kids, like primary school kids. Like you gotta keep them. You gotta keep them talking, because they say the darndest things. There's that TV show, kids say the darndest things.
Yeah.
But when you're that age, you don't have the influence of life yet. You don't have the influence of like when you go through school, the things about they teach you how to work in order, how to work in society and all that kind of stuff. But before you hit that stuff at school, kids can say out of it stuff, random stuff, right? And some of the random stuff can be good ideas, but because teachers don't know, because teachers are taught the curriculum and how to live in society and all that, these things get thrown out because they're just kids. But sometimes some of these ideas are original ideas, right? They're original ideas, and you can take for some of these, even though it might sound stupid, it won't make sense, because if it makes sense to a kid, it probably makes sense in real life. And I feel that's what Neil is. Neil was saying these things, and I think Hannah, because Hannah, she's grown up warrior all her life, right? So all she knows is war. She doesn't even know any new ideas. When she meets Neil and Neil gives her this new idea, she makes sense of it later on in the episode. And who knows, maybe she grows up and uses what she learned of Neil to better her tribe or whatever it is in the future when she becomes a leader. She'll take some of those learnings off and probably be a better society where they are. Because another thing about that planet, you mean to tell me ever since bloody the Old Republic days, they're still fighting like that? They never fixed anything up? There's still ash in the atmosphere? Like, how long have they been fighting? Wow, for generations. It has to be generations. Man. But yeah, those are my thoughts on where Neil was, like how I thought what I thought might happen with how Hannah reacted to what she learned, because she learned a lot too. She learned from Neil. Neil learned that there's things in life that doesn't have the same ideas as him, and he has to, figure it out. So he's figuring things out. So and that's another reason why I love Skeleton Crew, because these kids are figuring things out, life lessons on the way. Eh?
Yeah.
I think with Neil, what he did, another thing he kind of learnt from his moment with Hina was bravery. Eh? Because he got pushed to go first, and then he kind of learnt, to take that step, that risk, to do it. And I think that's what kind of with that scene in the tower.
Yeah.
He was, he's he did pick his moment, because he did it down there, walking to that mist, being in the front. And I was like, oh, well, if I survive this, that's great. Oh man, I've got some rabbit holes, eh?
Oh yeah.
So I did a who, what, where, when, how, so then it's who are these two factions, why are they separate, because if they're a spitting image of Aten, and Aten is this perfect society, so where were the droids? Hey, so what happened to the droids? Because if they're a carbon copy, and that statue with the head missing, that was another one. I was just thinking, I didn't remember seeing a statue on Aten, and then it kind of and then I'm kind of going back to that painting from season 2 that we were trying to break down. So so there's a few rabbit holes there, and I'm wondering if those two factions workers, because remember the kids were doing I'm gonna be a system analysis, or I'm gonna be, and I wonder if the two factions is workers and office workers. You know what I mean? Those two. I don't know if you guys know Marxism, whatever it's Karl Marx. That one. There's two French words: the worker and the.
I forgot the other one.
The bourgeoisie.
Yeah. Those ones. Someone listened at university.
Be a bit careful with this Marxism.
Yeah. But that's that's my rabbit hole way, and I'm why are these two two factions, and that's where Neil beautiful made it. Why don't you just say something?
You got a point there, because that Edson looks like what socialism could be.
Yeah.
Everybody's thinking the same. Everyone's equal.
Yeah. Everyone knows their place.
Everyone knows their place. The kids grow up to work as where their parents work. And it was funny because at Akron, where they were, was a splitting image of their planet, but it was all devastated and everything. Even the school was the same, but it was all devastated. There's that scene when Neil and Hana was on top of the roof talking, or when they just got to the roof after he got his food. Because that was the other scene when he gave the other kids some food. And Hana saw, and she was, oh man, she probably never seen that before. The kindness. But anyway, Neil looked over, and there was another building that's devastated across the way, and he said, "Oh, that's where my mom will work still." And I think I'm gonna work there too when I grow up. He was saying those sort of things. Yeah.
They might change when they go back to find out the truth.
But in episode 3, when the parents were talking, all the parents were concerned about the kids, except for Wim's dad. He was turning his head in silence. Do you think there's something there? Do you think he knows more? Do you think he actually is concerned about something else?
Yeah, I honestly believe so, because we don't know what he does.
Yeah.
We know what Fern's mum does. We know what Neil's parent or mum does now, and we kind of guess what. I don't know about KD. But 100 with the dad, because there's that moment where they're all flipping, like you're saying, they're all talking amongst it, and he's just sitting there in silence.
Yeah, all the other parents are discussing how they're going to get their kids back, if the droids are going to go get their kids back. But that guy's not interested in that.
But it's he knows something.
Yeah, there's something else. Okay, my son's go past the barrier, might as well just leave him out there, kind of thing.
They won't come back. They won't find us. Hey, that kind of.
Or they don't want to risk it in case somebody follows them to Aten. You see, there's so much. Even the coordinates for Aten's been scraped away. What else is going to happen? Is it completely off the Jedi's map charts, just like the other place? Man, it's crazy. They really want to keep it a secret.
I was thinking, if if Ed Akron was a splitting image of Ed Edson, maybe the other planets has a tower as well with the same
Yeah,
coordinates.
with the same coordinates.
Maybe
That's
they
what
have
I
to go
was
check
thinking.
out the other ones and look.
I think
Well,
that's
that's what
what's
I
going
was
to
waiting
happen.
for. That was what I was waiting for in the scene, when the credit came on. Because that's what I was
Yeah.
thinking. I'm doing the formula in my head. I'm waiting for someone to come in. Oh, why don't we just go to this one? And then hopefully, if there's a tower here, But then just
They're
went
going to
kaboom.
drag it.
And I was like, I tell you.
They're going to drag it for the next episode.
Here's a question for you guys. Crimson Jack or Jod, do you think he's 100% with the kids now and just going along with it, or do you think he's still got an agenda in the background there?
For me, I reckon he's still got an agenda. Yeah, like I think he's partly with the kids until he gets what he gets, and then that's it, kind of thing. But yeah, for me, he's still got an agenda. What about you, Kelvin?
Well, I think, I think you're right. Like, he still hasn't brushed off that Crimson Jack, especially from part 2, episode 2, excuse me. But you kind of saw a little bit of humanity with him bringing all those, their vision of cows, I guess, all the cows through and buying. Because remember, he's got the coins, but like he said, he's got a hidden agenda. So, like, he would have sacrificed those coins thinking, I'm going to get some more. We're getting to Eden. But yeah. Well, I want to see more of him. Like, I want to see more of him on a more pressure moments, like where he has to make a choice.
Yeah, clutch moments.
Yeah, that's where you'll see probably more of his character, like the
actual,
the humanity of his character,
or the evilness.
Yeah,
I just leave the kids behind.
Yeah. What about you, Cabs? What's your?
Yeah, I think he still got an agenda, but I feel like since he's a Force user, and the actual Jedi's that are still around this time is just Luke Skywalker, and in some case it's Ahsoka. Maybe they'll show up to test his Force usability. Like if he was a youngling back when Order 66 happened, like he's really haven't done any further Jedi training, but he's got the skills. So maybe that gets tested too. Maybe all he can do is just a little. Maybe he can't do the Jedi mind trick. Maybe he just can move stuff and stuff like that. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it goes. But I still think he's got a agenda, and I still think it's gonna be the classic. He'll betray the kids, and he'll save them after that because he'll realize he did wrong. Or maybe the owl, or maybe his ex-girlfriend Kim comes back and tells him off. Say, go back, save the kids.
Yeah,
you ass, and then he has to go back, save the kids.
Do you guys remember the comment he said when they came out of the ship? Like about the planet? He said it tasted ashy like his home. Do you think he might be from one of the other planets?
Nah.
As a kid?
I don't know.
He might have, I don't know.
Or maybe that rules out. Oh, no, because the Jedi, they take the kids away from their parents.
Yeah, but he might have been one of the kids from one of the planets. And then somehow...
they're like, they're hidden.
Yeah. But he probably somehow ended up with the pirates somehow. I don't know. But he did say the planet was just like his home planet.
Yeah. In the second part, he's like, I'm just like you, I'm lost. Hey.
Yeah.
Because I thought about that.
And then the reference again with the planet when it's like, it tastes like ash. He's like, is this acid? This is like, and the kids are like, no, this is not acid. Tastes like my home planet. Ashy. I was like,
I did do some little bit of research on StarWars.com. So, we had this discussion about what era we're in.
Yeah.
So, the Old Republic is actually before the High Republic, and it goes Old Republic, High Republic, then Order 66.
Yeah.
And then the Empire, and then the New Republic, which we're in now. When Scouts Crew is in now, the New Republic era.
It's the same timeline as the Mandalorian.
Yeah, so Mandalorian's in the New Republic era. So the Old Republic is when there's heaps of Sith, and then when all the Sith get killed, and I think Darth Bane starts the the rule of two.
Yeah.
That's the beginning of the High Republic, and that's and the end of the High Republic is where the acolyte is.
Right.
Yeah.
Palpatine injects himself into the shit. True.
You're helping me out with my rabbit holes here, Wolf.
Connecting the dots, are we?
Oh no, I'm not just creating new ones.
Yeah,
When
so
you mentioned the software, I was like, oh shit, this is before the Rule of Two. Hey.
so now when we'll probably come down to what else have we learned now from Star Wars lore from this episode, because we now rabbit holes about where we think Edson is, what do we think Edson is, what the analysts are doing, and we spoke of maybe it's like the Federal Bank. It's a planet where they produce the gold, right? And maybe the gold is there to fund the war. Maybe it's there to fund the Empire, or maybe it can't be, because
it's for the New Republic, eh?
Maybe something happened during the Old Republic days, and they just forgot about it, right? So they're just moving on without anyone knowing about them, sort of thing. But maybe it ties into the New Order.
Ooh.
Why the New Order got big, because maybe they took that planet and took all the money, and that's their war chest.
You could be right with that, because they built a lot of shit.
Yeah.
Even the planet destroyer.
Even what was that planet when Palpatine was in? His clone?
I have no idea.
All the new Star Destroyers were?
Oh yes, that one where they all popped out of the water.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't remember that one.
Yeah, it's a hard one.
I know which one you're talking about there.
Where did he get his money, eh? Where did the clone get his money? It's funding for the ships. That's like high-class material, too. For all the ships, they were like black, not like the original old school ones.
So, yeah.
Double glazed or something.
Yeah, it just brings a question again, hey, what is this planet? We haven't learned much. Maybe in this episode, maybe we'll learn more. But yeah, the plot thickens, eh, boys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, especially with, what's his name? Oh, SM-33, eh?
Yeah. Like, who was his captain?
Yeah, he was his captain.
And why was he the one to not tell anyone where Edson is, eh?
Yeah, he must have been the one that killed the whole crew, eh?
Shit, could it be Wimstead? What's of it?
Well, this makes sense. If all other planets were destroyed, maybe he did it to protect it, because that's the only one left.
Yeah.
Because whoever destroyed the other planets had to go to that place to find the coordinates, right?
Yeah.
So maybe they knew the coordinates for all the other planets, but they didn't get Edson because he took the coordinates away. That's why Edson survived. That's why Edson's the last planet left of all those planets that got destroyed, and Akron is one of them. Right?
Do you think the Empire destroyed those planets?
Well, someone did. Whoever
they would have had the capabilities too. You remember
whoever was the captain, because that hasn't been revealed.
Yeah.
But the captain programmed the droid to kill anyone that knows about Edson.
Yeah. And he programmed not to wipe his memory. Yeah, or something like that.
Yeah.
And if anyone decided to jog in his memory, to tear them limb from limb, that guy turned like a bit evil. It's like, oh shit! No, don't hurt the kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if that rat in his eye is. What about just the captain, the rat? What is that? Starts talking.
Yeah, if the other planets are destroyed, then it might have been the Empire, like getting these financial credits or whatever, destroying the planets as they go, and not be able to find Edson. But I guess we won't find out until next episode if they find another planet.
Yeah.
So the captain was protecting Edson from the Empire. Yeah, that makes sense too.
Yeah, that could be the case.
And man, that's the rabbit hole. What happened? What if Wimstead is the captain? I wonder why. That's why he was quiet.
I'm just guessing.
Oh, yeah.
He kind of like knew, hey, had that.
That's his ship, eh?
Yeah, like he wasn't. He didn't like go. Oh shit!
They lived not far from that ship, eh?
Yeah, because he was like, oh shit, there's a ship. My son found the ship, kind of styles. Like that. Oh, my son's like in the ship going away.
And that's why he was quiet. Probably realized, like, fuck, he's not coming back. you know,
Yeah, fuck
because
that shit for my ship, man.
he's told the robot.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah,
Yeah, he must have
Yeah.
been the pirate from back in the day.
Maybe Wim's dad's the pirate.
Yeah.
That program, oh man, that's a good one.
Shit.
Luckily we recorded this, so when that does happen, we know that we see it first. You heard it here first.
Yeah.
Yeah. So boys, put some last words. What do you think's gonna happen next episode, Eric?
Oh, well, we obviously know that they're gonna go. They might try those other coordinates to those other planets. So there'll be some more adventures there. I'm just wondering if they're gonna get any more clutch moments where they grow more. Pretty decent clutch moment in this episode. So I'm just wondering if they're gonna get any more, or is each character gonna go through their individual, like in the next couple of episodes? Like each character gonna be highlighted. Like it might be KV's episode next, or I don't know if they're gonna follow that same formula. I hope they don't. You know, get too carried away with it, because then it's gonna make the episodes readable. But, yeah, I'm just hoping for another adventure in the next episode. And I can't wait. It's an awesome show.
Yeah, I don't think
actually makes up for Yellowstone.
Yeah, you bring up a good point. Like if they do episode concerning each kid, I don't think they need to do that. I think we get enough with the adventure, like what sort of person they are. Like I think if anything, we'll probably need a win. But when we get his story in the first episode, right?
Yeah,
because it's all about him, like the way he is. He's the dreamer. You know, he's not doing what everyone else, all the other kids are doing.
Yeah,
you know, he's got sort of like dreams. He's
like a son of a pirate, eh?
Probably that's where he gets it from, me.
That's the son of a pirate. That kind of kid.
He's
like comes out of the ship when they land on the planet. First thing he does is gets a stick and he's like, you know, like, hey, that's like a son of a pirate, eh? Yeah.
True.
He's into stories.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So I think that moment that we talked about with Wim sort of comforting Fern, I think we want to see more of those moments, and then we'll realize obviously that he's the glue for that group, for the crew, skeleton crew.
Yeah.
And it might even get to a point where he's in danger, that he's almost at his deathbed and they save him. And maybe this was one of those scenes when he doesn't breathe and they think he's dead and they all cry. And then he just wakes up. And then everyone's like, "Oh, you're alive."
Do you reckon it's gonna be like a little intimacy between old Fern and Wim?
I
don't know. Nah, probably not. But I think their friendship will be secured. I think will be solid. I think the kids at the end of this will be
they trust each other.
It'll be interesting, like where these kids join the new order era. You know, it'll bring up more stories for the future. Like they'll be older. Are they still alive, or are they with the new alliance? Yeah,
because the new order, the soldiers, they're not clones, because they didn't. They're recruitment kids, right from birth, or from when they were kids.
Yeah, I think so.
Shit, I hope. Man, another rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Hey, I read something earlier. That flippin' Nando might make an appearance or a cameo.
Oh, really?
Might be. It's highly possible, because these kids are traveling in the same solar system as he is. So, I don't know. It'd be good if we do see them.
Yeah.
I'd be surprised, though.
Last question before we wrap. Do you think the series so far has saved Star Wars, Kelvin?
So far? I think so. I kind of think so. I'm hoping so, because like I think this is, like I mentioned first, for the first episode, like this is like the rebirth, like the what do you call it, like the rebuild of the new fans, you know. So they're like so that's what I bought into, you know, like what you guys have said, you know, being the, you know, coming of age, kids adventure. That's where it's aimed at. It's the rebuild of the new generation of Star Wars fans. So and so far, it's got me hooked. You know, like if I'm flipping getting angry at the TV because the credits are there, mate, I'm sure there's little kids, you know, like out there looking at the credits going, That's cool. I like the story. What about you?
I think it's a good step in the right direction.
Yeah.
I don't think it's fully there yet, but yeah, it's getting there. Like it's got me interested back into Star Wars again.
Yeah.
After the Acolyte, I think we needed this. So yeah, I think it's in the right spot. It's in the right direction. What about yours?
Oh mate, I think it's like great. I think it's really put a spark back into Star Wars.
Hard.
You know, and hopefully the success of Skeleton Crew, which I think it has been successful. I think there's been a lot of good reviews. It's been really good on social media. And I think if they build on that same formula, not be fake or not be, I wouldn't say the word fake. When I'm thinking of the Boba Fett series, how off that was, and even in some ways the Obi-Wan, it wasn't.
Yeah.
You know, the return of Darth Vader was supposed to be the greatest moment in Star Wars, since Return of the Jedi. You know,
Right, he
and
was like a
didn't really.
Papa.
I mean, it was good, but wasn't
like
really that good.
Touching at ideas,
Yeah.
you know, like
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden
man.
there's this fresh idea that's come along, and it's like,
yeah, that's exactly right. And I think with the fresh idea, you can tap into what's been done before in terms of the best things that's been done before, rather than thinking I think this would be great if this happens, you know? Like with no really any formulas, just the action kind of thing. I can't explain it, but yeah, the past content has been off. And for me, it hasn't been a real great Star Wars film. Like, you know, for the Marvel stuff, you can point your finger at Endgame, stuff like that. It's been really good. But then you can't really for the new Star Wars stuff, really.
No.
Besides Mandalorian season 1, season 2 Mandalorian.
Yeah.
But it's supposed to be more than that.
Yeah, you bring up a really good point, Cams, because like I said, they were clutching at like what worked back then, like doing Obi-Wan Kenobi, bringing in Darth Vader, and I think what worked for Mandalorian as well, not only that they lived up to being a sci-fi western, is because we never got to see much of the Mandalorian throughout the Star Wars, you know, maybe little bits of, you know, but we feel that, you know, we didn't, like, it was like we didn't know much about the Mandalorian. This is the way, you know, like, you know, so that was kind of what made Mandalorian good, because it was new, and I think it's the same thing with Skeleton Crew. It's new, it's fresh, you know, it's not clutching at the old, you know, to grab storylines, to get story arcs, or get some content, you know, like it's fresh content, you know. The only thing that's probably is sorry.
No, you carry on.
Yeah, the only thing that's probably what do you call it? Still, that it's got is Jude Law's character with the Force, you know, and that's it, you know.
Yeah, kind of gives me the same feels as New Hope. Like, you know, this is the first. Like when I watched New Hope, I was like, whoa. And then Empire Strikes Back, I was over the moon. So yeah, like, you know, New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, those three, there have never been another three like that.
Yeah.
So it's like, shit, could this be it with the skeleton? Could this be the New Hope and we get an Empire Strikes Back next year? Kind of thing?
I hope so. No, I really do, because like what we experienced as kids, man, you know, like, it was cool, you know, and I would like the next generations of Star Wars fans to experience how we were, you know, like, because of all these influences that are around, you know, with social media and access to technology, because we didn't have that. And I think that's where, you know, what grabbed us that much, because it played with our imagination or something, you know.
And we only can watch it like at a certain time. We couldn't watch it like all the time, like how our kids do.
Yeah, you know, like kids are desensitized these days, you know, like, because everything's so at their fingertips. When, like, you know, we only had the TV, and whoever had the remote was the master. That was
Sweet boys, that's us for another episode.
Yeah.
Can't wait to next week for episode 5. Before it'll be right on Christmas Day.
Christmas. So they get right through Christmas, eh?
Yeah.
Shit.
On Christmas Day.
Christmas. I wonder if they are. I hope they are.
So yeah. We'll try to do what we're gonna do? We're gonna do a wrap up for 2024. The best and worst of
On my list.
your list
Yeah.
of what I say? It was like
DC and Marvel.
Just
that's another one.
Oh,
it's gonna be the 2024.
Oh yeah.
I think
Best-
was the top 3,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Bottom
I think
two?
the top 3 and the worst 2 or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, it's top 3, bottom 2 of TV shows,
Yeah.
top
And movies.
3, bottom 2 of movies. But it
Yeah.
has to be released in 2024.
Yeah.
And if it's a TV series, that season has to be released in 2024.
And we can't have the same one, right? So we gotta have backups.
Yeah, kind of the same one. You have to have backups.
Gotta have some backups.
Yeah, you're gonna go first day camps.
Yeah, I would choose Die Hard.
Yeah.
So don't know what day you guys want to do that. Do you do that Sunday or Monday or
The Sunday coming up.
Monday? Up to you guys.
Oh,
Well, after
whatever's
after Christmas or
available.
Or after Christmas. It has to be before New Year's.
Yep.
After Christmas, maybe next Friday. Next Friday.
okay. Yeah, next Friday.
Because Boxing Day, Thursday, recovery, and then Friday. Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
sweet.
Yeah, I got Friday off.
Well, we got to do 2 because we got to do Skeleton Crew episode 5.
Yeah, though.
And it's heaps.
Yeah, no,
I think Skeleton Crew needs to go right through.
Yeah.
Because if Skeleton Crew's not having a holiday, yeah.
You know me.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so boys,
Okay,
thanks for
then.
jumping on. Yeah, we'll catch you guys again next week. Bye.
But yeah, sweet. Later, bro.
Later, what's up?